Welcome back to my loft, y'all. Today is a special one. I have not done a deck opening in a minute, but here we are. Today we got the Universal Monsters Tarot deck. This one just came out not very long ago, so I'm finally on the ball for once. Oh, I was going to show y'all. It's written by Casey Gilly, illustrated by Joe Wilson. Now, I do read reviews and whatnot when I buy these, but generally I'm gonna mispronounce everything. I'm gonna butcher everything because you're getting my raw first impressions most of the time. Gotta keep this little cleaverous. Gotta stop saying right, like Alice in Wonderland style. Just did it again. It's cute. Yeah, we'll just go instead, like Frankenstein, which is fitting. So look at this, you guys. Holy moly. Now, I am the biggest Monster Squad fan ever, which is funny. Universal didn't do Monster Squad. I'm going to put an insert. Y'all ever heard of Minty Comedic Arts? This guy is so cool. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Oh my gosh, it almost looks real. That's impressive. I think this might become my favorite real quick. Oh. Yeah, Minty Comedic Arts is hilarious because there was this movie, it was made in like the late 80s called Monster Squad. It was around the time of the Goonies and, oh wow. Ooh, look at the backside of these cards. Holy cow. And it's got the ribbon pull. The box is nice and sturdy. I like my tarot to come in a good hearty box. And they, so far, have crushed it. Yeah, the Goonies and The Lost Boys, and I grew up watching a lot of Stephen King when he was like at his prime and having this party time writing. I love Maximum Overdrive. I love all of them. My sister had all the books, and so in second grade I had read almost all the Stephen King books, which was super appropriate. And I think I even did a research report, or no, a book report on one of them, and my teacher was just like, "Who are you, weirdo?" But, yeah, so this Minty Comedic Arts was hilarious. So the point I'm trying to get at, he did a video. I will either link it or put a screenshot or something. But go check out his, he reviews and lets you know cool facts about movies that you didn't know. And there's one called Monster Squad, and it was not Universal. And what's hilarious is, so their Frankenstein, they had to move the bolts up to his forehead because they couldn't copy the likeness of the traditional Universal monsters, basically. So they ran into a lot of licensing issues on that movie. So I find that hilarious. But Monster Squad, if you remember, you remember. And he's like, werewolf has nards, kick him in the nards. Everybody remembers that. At least that line. The rest of the movie, if you watch it, you will be so sad because... the effects are just rancid in today's movie world. It's a good time though. It's a good laugh, I guess. Now, growing up, I thought it was amazing. Now I realize it wasn't that good, but I love this book so far. I like that. So even the minors, wow, because a lot of the times books, man, they did a great job, didn't they? Yeah, a lot of the times they'll give the Major Arcana. Oh, and look, see, they kind of did. So they get their own huge page of the picture of the card. Oh, that's a great one. Ooh. But then when you go to the minors, the picture, sometimes they're not even a picture at all, but they still gave them a picture and it's colored, the ink. Look at the ink on this. I can't wait to play with these cards. Holy cow. So I'm real impressed on the book. I'm real impressed on the box. Amazing. So ribbon pull time. I love a good ribbon pull. Woo! Oh my gosh, it just feels right, you know. Oh, again. Woo! I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. I want to put all these in the background. Actually, where are we going to put our cards down? Yeah, I thought this through real good beforehand. As usual. Wow. I think we'll put her up there because she's pretty impressive too. That book is fabulous. All right, here we go. I'm a huge fan of monsters. I don't know why I'm so dark because I do work for God and, you know, Everybody should build a good relationship with God and pray and all that stuff. Pray for our country for sure. Right now we are going through it. You know, America's lost her sparkle when the Merchant of Death does an interview and says America has strayed too far off the path of God and lost families and things like that. We need to get back on track, you know. I don't know why I love the dark stuff, but really, I mean, I like tarot and all, but you know, I'm really work for the side of good. I got big angels, and I think we all do, so you know. God is good. Let's do some monster tarot. We're going to start out here with the Major Arcana, the Fool. They got Frankenstein. He's my boy. I love it. Monster Squad, this little girl, like, becomes best friends with him. They're up in the treehouse. It's so cute. I don't know why I'm referencing that show so much, because that would really just piss off Universal. But it's all I can think of. So funny. The Magician. Yes. It's an excellent card. Always a cool one. The High Priestess. Oh, we got Homie in the background. I don't know which movie this is. Again, I didn't research a ton. I'm a big fan of these movies, but I'm not going to remember a lot of them. Again, I was more of like the Stephen King. It was my age group. And these all came out. I know I could have watched them anytime, but we didn't watch a ton of the old like Vincent Price stuff and Alfred Hitchcock stuff. I love him. Of course, they gave the Emperor to Dracula. Dracula? Yeah, I said that right. Dracula. He looks great. Dracula. We have a kitty named Dragon, and I always call him Dracula. He's so cool. So let's see. I always sound super professional in these. The Hierophant. I don't know him. Ooh, the Lovers. Sweet. Look at that one. Werewolf. He has a chariot? Huh. Maybe I should stop and read in the book and see why Werewolf is the chariot. I mean, I can kind of see it, but I kind of can't. I think I don't think it's a pip deck. But I have read that it's not for beginners, because I think the minors are really tough. Again, we got Roman numerals. If you're a beginner, this is going to be a purely intuitive reading deck. I'll be fine, because I'll just draw weird thoughts, you know, spooky medium stuff. Oh, is he supposed to be Charon? Oh, that's so cool. It's my boy. Yeah, this might be an easier one to just read intuitively rather than going by the book and the standard Rider Waite style. I have heard it is difficult, and we're gonna see why. They say that it's hard to distinguish the oh my gosh, my favorite. Holy cow, he might get the cover. He's the thumbnail. He is gorgeous. I love him. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. What was the show in the 80s? I'll have to look that up. And oh man, it wasn't the Hulk, but it was like literally trying to copy this guy. But it was like a bad 80s version with a big buff. Was he a wrestler or something? Oh man. Swamp Thing, right? Was that it? I'm looking it up later. That's so fun. Yeah, that version was hilarious. All versions of this guy are hilarious. But doesn't he look cool? One of my favorite monsters right there. The classic monsters. I love monsters. You know, they're just so misunderstood. Some people really don't like the dark stuff. I like the dark stuff. Which is funny because, you know, I'm on the side of good, but I'm a big fan of the monsters. Death is always my favorite card. We all know that. Whew. Do love that one. We got, what is he supposed to be like Anubis? I'm gonna guess that's a reference to Anubis. I pull Anubis and Charon like non-stop for me for my personal readings. But because my life is all about death. I have so much tragedy in my past, which I can't really talk about. I'm so excited for our youngest to turn 18 because I don't talk a lot about my family or my past. And I like that my kids are getting older. I'd like to take my channel into a more adult version. Pretty cheesy now. We still Squishmallow hunt because my girls just love plushies, but I can't wait to bust it loose once they're old enough and, you know, say real potty words on here and talk about real scary stories. But for now, we're going to keep it cheesy. Oh, the star. Oh, getting ahead of myself. Oh, that's because the moon really wanted to come out and play. Look at him. So we got werewolf in her twice. We had the chariot and the moon, huh? Well, duh, he should definitely get the moon. I'm not sure how I feel about him as the chariot, but I guess change and transformation and speed. I don't get him as the chariot, but I mean, oh, I adore her. I adore her. Isn't she from Creature from the Black Lagoon? I think maybe. It's been so long. I have seen all the old classics of these, but I was probably a kid. I haven't watched them again as an adult. Oh my gosh, look at her. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, this is a sweet card too. That's perfect. That's a great world card right there. Okay, big fan. Wow. Oh, man, he could be the thumbnail too. I always like to pick the ones I'm going to put as the thumbnail. He's up there. He's cool. Queen of Candles. Oh, see, that's where we're getting it. Okay, so hold up. Wait a minute. King of Candles. Okay, so we ended the, we ended the majors. Sorry. It's been a long day. Morning. Now we're moving on to the minors. So we got the candles. This is where people have a struggle with this deck, I think. So we got the candles, which I assume would be wands, fire, right? We got the crypts. What's the other ones? We got the claws, which are obviously swords. The castles, which are gonna be, I don't know. Are crypts supposed to be cups? Yeah, somebody said chalices would have been perfect, and I agree. Crypts is cool and all, but chalices probably should have been the cups. Interesting. So people struggle not only with the Roman numerals on this one, but also that they... I think the book, I read that the book really breaks it down in a cool way of explaining why they did what they did, but I think just for a beginner, if you're trying to follow the traditional Rider Waite, it's tough. So King of Candles, Queen of Candles. So this is more of a, oh, I love his hand. I love it. I'm such a zombie freak. I have my foot, I have tattooed a zombie leg, actually. It says dead meat. And people always look at me weird because I look cheesy as can be, and then they look at my foot and they look up at me and they're like, why did you get that? I literally had one woman, my kid's school one time, we were waiting for school to start, and I was wearing flip-flops, and I didn't think about it, and this, you know, of course I live in Mormonville. And so I stand out. I'm the exile over here because I'm born and raised, but I'm not one. So I've always been the exile in my state. But so this cute little Mormon mom was trying to make small talk. Like, we don't need to do that, but people feel the need to do that sometimes. So she looks down at my tat and looks up at me and she's like, why didn't you get like a butterfly or something? And I was like, because I like zombies, you know? Like, why would you ask me that? I don't look at your personal choices of what you wore today and be like, why did you go with that color? You know, people are just awesome sometimes. This is an excellent card. Oof, I love that one. Holy moly. I don't know if y'all can see, but I got my mad balls over here and my husband. They brought these back. My brother had these and I steal them from him all the time. We used to beat each other up with them growing up. Sibling rivalry stuff, but they take me back to that, and they come out with these little blind bags, like these little anniversary ones, and it's so cute. The husband bought me 3 packs of them, and by chance I opened and got the really rare one. I guess the goat head guy is like he's the ultra mega rare or whatever, so he might be worth some bucks, which is really hilarious because I just got them for sentimental cute reasons. But what are the odds? Look at this. That's really cool too. Back on track. This could be the longest video ever. They always are. Candles. Was that 5? Yeah, I suck at Roman numerals. By now I should have them. My oldest has them memorized and I don't. But she's a genius, so, you know, I'm a heathen. Candles. Oh my gosh. So obviously wands, right? Candles makes total sense to me. Oh, that's so pretty. I love candelabras. Ooh, I wish Michaels would bring one back. Are y'all into Bath and Body Works? Their decor is already, they've already got it out for Halloween. sucks because they're gonna sell out by August. They have this carriage wallflower plug that I want super bad, and all the lids on the new candles. Whew! I've been so naughty lately. I put myself in spending time out because there's been cool sales, but boy, and then they go and do that. We're gonna be broke buying Bath and Body Works stuff. Makes me mad too, because I already have a bunch of their little haunted house plugs, and you only need so many. I mean, my house only has so many. I could probably display it all year in my tarot section of the house, but you know, I don't know. Ace of Crypts. Oh, I love that one. I love the hands. We've got out the big claws today. I'm wearing my big old nails today just for this video. This deck, I have long anticipated this one. I am so excited. Wait, so maybe Crypts is supposed to be cups, because the Two of Cups is basically the Lovers, but it's almost as strong as the Lovers card, and I'm thinking Crypts is supposed to be cups. My guess. This is the one card that makes me think that. So I could be wrong, but so Crypts might be cups, which would make better sense doing chalices, but that's okay. I like Crypts too, so that's fine. Wow. Wow. All of these, I really love all of these. Wow. Oh, it's a good one. Ooh, he might make the thumbnail too. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, beautiful. I love the illustration on this one. I was really kind of bummed on my Edgar Allan Poe one. This is a bit cheesy, but this is amazing. I like this style. It's almost Scooby-Doo-esque. We were just talking about that the other night, how Matthew Lillard, I looked it up. He's old, y'all. I knew he was older, but dang. He's done all these scary movies like 13 Ghosts. I absolutely adore that movie. And I think my favorite scene is when the Juggernaut, they bring in that 18-wheeler with blood and spray everything. It's like, that is the coolest scene. The music, all of it is perfect. And he's done a lot of my oldest was a psycho Scooby-Doo fan as a toddler. It's probably why we're just morbid over here. We're weird. You need morbid weirdos sometimes to handle things that others couldn't, you know. I like dark stuff, but you know, I'm all for God and everything, but we need the weirdos out there too. And yeah, so we used to collect all the Scoobies. And Scooby-Doo has had such a fun run. I was telling my husband Casey Kasem, and he's like, I don't know who that is. I was like, he's like the Wolfman or whatever. He's a famous, super famous radio DJ. And yeah, I had no idea who he was. And then I was laughing about the Scooby-Doo that had Vincent Price. How cool is that? So Scooby-Doo is pretty fun. We used to collect. Oh, yes. That's amazing. That's so cool. I love this card. Yeah, we used to collect Scooby-Doos back when it was, you'd buy DVDs. I'm from the days of VHS, so when Redbox kind of came in and took over, but I used to get on eBay and buy every one of the Scooby-Doo movies for Portia. She loved Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo has been such a fun series to watch. Take all these weird, their illustrators have really, some seasons are they completely change the style. I mean, they try everything. It's pretty cool. That ring, yo. Ooh, gorgeous. Oh man, this is long. I'm just loving this one a little too much. Oh yes, the colors in this deck are incredible. I haven't even gotten to the thickness of the cards. They are quite matte. Very matte, actually. Which is nice, because sometimes when they're too shiny and glossy, they slide all out of your hands. This is a good one. That's my boy. I was going to do the creature from the Black Lagoon, but in a pinup style on the back of my calf. I was going to do a couple of cool monster chicks, because I got the zombie leg on my foot. And then the back of my calves, I really wanted to tattoo a couple of cute pinups in that style, but never got around to it. There's a lot of things I wanted to do. I wanted to do some bees on the backs of my knees. But man, I think that pain, I don't know if I could handle that. I don't know if you even can tattoo the backs of your knees, really. There are some spots on your body that just don't accept ink well, and it's just not going to end well once it heals, but I don't know anymore. That was a long time ago. I have done tattooing. My husband, I've done a bunch of his. But that was, I'm an old lady now. I love this one. Wow. Oh, I love it. I love the bridge. Oh, it's so gorgeous. They did so good on this deck. I am so excited. I haven't had this level of excitement since the Garbage Pail deck. This is so fun. Armadillos! This is my card right here. Yeah, my brother, growing up, same one that I used to steal those from. Oh man, we used to have pillow fights, like gnarly, like till somebody was bleeding and crying fights, you know. Back in the day, things were just a lot more hardcore in the 80s and 90s. But we'd get in these massive pillow fights and like we'd grab a pillow and then put it on your stomach or something and then dive bomb each other. It was like your padding or whatever, like football pads. But we used to call out, he'd be like, I couldn't think that hard, so I'd be like, I'm King Kong or I'm Godzilla, and he'd go, I'm Armadillo Man. And I was like, yeah, where'd you come up with? That's amazing. But he's much more creative than me, that's for sure. And then we'd smash each other to pieces, and I'd end up crying usually. So I get my butt kicked. Yeah, I'm not a Gen Xer, but I was tormented by 3 older ones. I'm right on the cuff. I'm 84, so right on the cuff. So I got a lot of that. Like I remember, and I had all their toys and stuff, and like passed me downs and different generations for sure. I love all these castles. This is really cool. That one, oh, gargoyles, yes! I got a thing for gargoyles. Look at that. That's so cool. All right. Wow. Okay, so we did cover the, they're thick. I guess I didn't fully talk about the thickness of these cards. They are thick. This is a heavy deck. These are thick. I like the size of the cards, though. They're very holdable, if you know what I mean. I have some that are, like, super wide and very hard to shuffle. I really like the size they went with. They are insanely thick. Very, very thick. They remind me of the Whispers of the Ocean type of thick. They're very thick cards. The ink is insanely cool. Kind of like the Garbage Pail Kids. Maybe they went with the same ink. Because a lot of times black ink is going to chip and paint off or peel off. This looks real high quality. I like it. I like it a lot. I like the little borders. Some people hate borders. I dig them. I think on this one it's quite appropriate. But yeah, they're thick. This is a thick, this might be a tough one to shuffle. So we're going to do the obligatory riffle shuffle. I'll show you how that goes. Got my big nails on, so don't expect fireworks or anything. The first one is always rough. Prepare off camera. There we go. Oh my gosh. Woo. Well, it was looking good until like the second half there, but right out the gate, we haven't really broke them in or played with them too much. You know, say they passed narrowly, not super. They're thick. These ones are going to take a minute to break in. That's not the worst. I've had worse. It's okay. Oh, by the way, our candle today is Vineyard Retreat by Tuscany. It's amazing. It smells like fresh grape juice or like Jolly Joe's. I mean, it's not super sweet and gourmandy, but it is. Sometimes grape is stinky, like cough syrupy. This is a good grape. This is like a really, oh, jacked up my Vivianite. I got out my Dead Stone because, you know, this is the death deck, the monster deck. And my Veracruz Amethyst, she never comes out too often. Oh, I went to go riffle again. Actually, yeah, we will do a horizontal riffle for funsies. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Maybe. It's so thick. This is just going to be a disaster. Yep. Total disaster. That's okay. All right. So, a little trick on some of these real thick ones, real heavy ones. You can always do the hand, my word, card. You can go card under, card over. Some people get real angry about that. And they're like, it's card over only. So you pull from the bottom. Hello, use your words. And then you just, on top of the deck, you put down, I get used to just going wild, so I'm not showing the proper way very well. But sometimes if you're wearing nails and you got real thick or real large cards, one way to shuffle that ain't bad is to go like that. Also, again, if they're super wide, I have small hands, so, you know, I struggle sometimes. I love this. Oh, it's beautiful. Usually I shuffle backwards and I'm fine with it. Oh, my favorite card. But another good way for the bigger cards or the thicker cards is to take it vertical like this. I guess I'm going to show you like this. And it's a tall way, so you can still do the hand over hand. Let's see if I can go any faster, just for fun. So if you really want to get going and you're looking to get jumpers, which I adore, sometimes I like jumpers, sometimes they're annoying. Depends on the day. I always like to count the 7th card down from the top on every reading, and I take the bottom card. I don't know. We all have our own weird little rituals. Just love tarot. I know some people think it's evil. I don't think it's evil. I think it's just a great visual aid. If you're medium, I mean, you're going to get images in your head and stuff. Everybody has different clairs. I think tarot's fantastic because it gives the querent a lot to work with, to look at. I mean, it keeps them busy. But, you know, if you're medium, you know, you don't need the cards. But they are just so much fun. So, I can't get over how cool these guys look right here. Wow. Wow. So, shuffle test? I don't know. Oh, I forgot. I almost always, before we shuffle, we forgot to do the flexibility test. Ugh. And oh my gosh, you guys, they're not very flexible. They are insanely thick. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna do a proper shuffle time, and then I'll pull a couple cards and we'll see how your week's gonna look as a general. All right, this is so cool. Okay, I get out my stylus. I had to push play and all that. My husband called. I took a big break, and what's really fun is I kind of went through. I read some of the book. I made some awesome realizations. I kept thinking, man, this one feels exactly like the Garbage Pail Kids deck. And you know what really got me on that? If you've seen that video, the coolest part about that is I thought it was genuinely going to be just a novelty deck. Just non-usable, just cool to say you had it. But this one I feel like is so usable. It is a little bit hard if you're a beginner and trying to learn tarot. I wouldn't learn tarot off this one, but you can use the heck out of it, and I will use it. They are made by the same company. The boxes are extremely similar. The bottom of the box, the ribbon pull, you know I love me a good box and ribbon pull. Almost twins, almost in the size. The let's see, actually they might be the exact same size. But it felt super familiar. The cards, the thickness, very, very close. So, I mean, same size, pretty cool. I didn't realize, I just put that together. I was like, this just feels so much like my Garbage Pail ones. And that's why. So, okay, this is how I would traditionally read this. This is gonna be a long deck. Or a long video. I don't do VRs, but I really, the more I hang out with this deck, the more I love it, and I want to bring up some fun points now. This was supposed to just be an initials reaction, but I'm so super impressed. It's just like the Garbage Pail Kids. Once I started reading the book, I was like, oh, they got a real true this person knows tarot. You know, whoever wrote this, they did very well. So I love this. They do a really amazing breakdown of why they went with crypts instead of they got crypts instead of chalices, which I think we all were like, obvious, you know, why didn't you go with chalice? But I really like their explanation. Crypt, sweet crypt, a safe and ultimate repository for what you hold dear. This suit deals with matters of the heart, romance, emotional intelligence, dreams, and relationships. It's really quite perfect and fitting. So here's the breakdown of what's what. So obviously candles are wands, that's our fire and passion. And then crypts are our cups, that's emotion. And water, a safe and ultimate repository. I love that, for what you hold dear. So that's just gorgeous. And then we got the claws or the swords, which makes perfect sense. That's your mental and your intelligence. That would be like wind, I believe, right? Well, fire, or no, Sorry, what am I trying to say? Holy cow. I've got my notes. I drew this stupid chart that's throwing me off because I get a little ADHD in my note taking. But yeah, no, I knew that. Okay. So back to what matters. So the claws are the swords. And that's, you know, you gotta think of it like with a sword you can protect, but you can also hurt with this, right? So you can defend, or it can be defense or offense. So swords, but generally it's mental and your intelligent state. And then you've got the castles represent pentacles, which I feel like that's so fitting. So that's your brick and mortar. That's the earthly element. People often hear pentacles and they're like, money. I want to hear about the money. That's everybody's question, right? Love and money. So pentacles is, but it's more, you have to get away from money because it can represent things like greed if you're not careful on the downside of the pentacles. But generally it's how you earn the income, and it's about building foundations and using the materials, the earthly materials, to build your world and your life, things like that. So it's not just like straight money, it's how you acquire the money. And there's really good meaning behind it that I'm totally butchering. But I also, so I think it's really neat. I got out some other, again, this is a long one, and I appreciate you if you're still here. It's crazy if you are. You must be bored. I wish you a better day. But so the reading I got, I'm going to flip my little notes here. I just wanted to make some fun comparisons. Okay, so the death, I did mark these, as you can see, because I find it really cool. So I'm going to tell you kind of oh, the chariot. I brought this up earlier. It bugged me that the werewolf got the chariot because I like to see the sphinxes pulling, or horses pulling the cart. I'm sad we don't have the cart in there. I think that's what's bugging me. And I like a clear distinction. Generally, there's black and white. It represents balance, like big columns or something. There's usually big markers on the chariot, like big symbols. It's a card of major symbolism. And I couldn't figure it out, but it makes perfect sense. The Wolfman is a force of nature, fortified by the light of the moon and ready to unleash the beast within. The Wolfman represents a dual nature, so they did get it in there. I just didn't get it offhand. So an unstoppable apex predator, and the man attempting to control it. So what's that other monster? Oh my gosh, this is gonna drive me nuts. Although Larry Talbot is the victim of the cursed bite, he still uses his logic, discipline, and compassion to try to overcome his condition. He howls for you to take charge, focus yourself, and manifest the destiny you want. So really, they did an amazing job on that. Oh, Jekyll and Hyde. That's who I was gonna say. I was like, you know what? I think Jekyll and Hyde could have pulled this card off too. But so then we go from that. So the first card, generally for me to look at this, this spread. Okay, so the cool thing, this is how I would read your spread for the week, because I like to do these cheesy, quick readings. Generals on the internet, like pick a cards are very hard. I mean, this is a huge cast or net that you're trying to cast. There are tons of people, so it's hard to pinpoint things. But how I would kind of just quickly sum this up for y'all is, if you notice, we got we have 2 3s in a row. So we got the 3 of pence basically, and the 3 of wands followed by each other, which is really neat. Now 3s are all about 3's a crowd, working together, celebrating, teamwork, things like that, getting along with people basically. And then we've got a king on top of the queen, which is also really neat. So we got the king of cups on top of the queen of swords. So that's pretty neat in my opinion. That's like a great, so for love reading, amazing. Like y'all are supporting each other, obviously getting along very well, leaning on one another. And then we've got the death. We start out with the death, and people fear the death card. It is my favorite card of the entire tarot, because my whole life's about that. I got big angels, half my family's dead, so I love the death card. It's not scary at all. It's actually a rebirth. It can mean a literal death, but rarely does it. So it's basically when one card, like you might want something to end. When one door closes, a new one opens. It's a fresh beginning, a fresh start. And then, so that's what you kick the week off on. And then the sun is the best outcome you could ever ask for. It's just positive vibes. It's radiating and positive energy and things working out really well. Just happy, good, sunshine, summer vibes. So, I mean, we're starting out on a new beginning. We're working together. And I guess I should go through these. So I wanted to compare again. It's way too long, but so their death and my death, I kind of already said, it's like, that's what it means for me. I just wanted to quickly say, unlike the wrath of Imhotep, the act of shedding the past to embrace the future is nothing to fear. So I really love their interpretations. I think it's fantastic. I kind of forgot and left out. So the 22 Major Arcana are the stars of the deck, and I'm paraphrasing what they wrote in here. I just thought it was coined so perfectly by them. So, yeah, so the majors are generally your star of the show in a tarot reading, right? So they're who you would kind of go off. And we've got the death and the sun. So that's, and one begins and one closes. How cool is that, right? Really cool readings. Anyways, so the majors, I love it because they say they represent the long-term impact of your decisions. Now, those who ignore their past are doomed to repeat it. Just ask Imhotep. So, as we just saw, I thought that was mega cool. And then we've got the 56 minors, they say, are more to deal with your temporary situation. So the majors here have to do with the long-term outcome. All these majors here is what happens in between. So this is like your daily, this is your temporary situations, your everyday interactions, and commonplace going on of life. And how cool is just, this is so cute. And I just love this deck. I'll just praise this one forever. This might be my favorite. I love the colors. I love everything about it. It's a bit thick. It's a little bit hard to handle. Other than that, which is good because I'm rough on cards, and that means it'll last. So that's not the worst thing ever, you know. So we've got, and I wanted to just bring up, so again, a long one. So death. This is the Garbage Pail Kids version. This is the, oh, I love this deck so hard. I got to show you all this deck. So look at Tinseltown Tarot, right? Oh, amazing. Look at the box. Doesn't that remind you of a certain naughty counselor stick box? Isn't that cool? Just so well thought out and illustrated. I love that. But I just want to show off like a couple other decks. So that's their death. And then the Rider Waite traditional. So that's your death in other decks. Very neat. And then our King of Cups. So him. This is it in other deck versions. This is your genuine traditional version of him. So pretty fitting. And then we have your Three of Coins, which this is about, see, they're building a church in the original one. When I see armadillos, I want to cry. As I said, I got big angels. My brother, both my brothers and my dad are in heaven. So, when I see armadillos, it's like, oh my gosh, my heart. But it's just reminders of when I was a kid and good stuff. But if you notice, it's about coming together. It's kind of like an orchestra. Everybody might not get along, but when it comes to, like, they're building something for the community together that will benefit everyone in the group. So like this with the king and the queen, maybe you're building a family, maybe you're building some like a home or doing a project in your house for your family. This could go a million ways. Again, general readings are super tough, but I wanted to just show. Oh, so that's that one. Then we got followed by another three, which is so cool. So the Three of Wands. This can be a literal journey. This is going to be like your ships. So I assume that's on a boat, possibly. These lamps hanging and swinging around. That's my guess. So Three of Wands is pretty cool. It can represent travel, going on a journey together. It can also, for me, I love when people say this is my whatever card, because for me, this is my ships are coming in card. This is stay focused on your hard work. You're almost there, like getting support from those you love and your team. You know, all of these are really about teamwork, so pretty cool. And then you got the Queen of Claws, so our Queen of Swords. Again, she takes, can we say shit? She takes shit from nobody, basically. And you can't lie to her, you know. She's real hard to lie to. She's brilliant, she's smart. She is the ultimate widow that will be fine. Like if her husband died in battle, she'd carry on and be just fine. She's the smart one. And you don't mess around with her. So, and then we've got the Sun, everybody's favorite. I adore this. This is a gorgeous card. How fabulous is that? But yeah, other interpretations of the Sun. Generally, it is a little boy riding a horse. This one features a woman with extremely long hair, but he's naked in the OG version, so it's cute. Her hair covers it. Kind of funny, but I love this one, man. I can't say enough good things about this deck. I'm so impressed. If you made it this far in the video, I'm impressed at you. I hope you have the best week, the best day, the best life ever. Do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for somebody else. As always, you know what? Pray more. I hate to be that Bible beater. I'm not into classic religion because I do feel like it's been so very corrupted. So find your own spirituality. Believe what you want to believe. You know, build a relationship with God where you feel like you can pray to your angels and your guides, whatever entities you feel is best for you. Always work on yourself. Do the best you can. Do whatever you got to do to get through it. Life is wild. But y'all take care. I appreciate you so very much for being here. Have the most gorgeous, beautiful day ever. Bye, y'all.